are going to end a corrupt political system in which billionaires buy elections. Democracy, to me, means one person, one vote. Not Bloomberg or anybody else spending hundreds of millions of dollars trying to buy an election. And that is why we're going to overturn this disastrous Citizens United Supreme Court decision. And why we are going to move toward public funding of elections. We're going to win this election. We're going to win this election because we have received more campaign contributions from more people than any candidate in the history of the United States. We don't go to billionaires' homes to raise money. We don't have a super PAC. This is a campaign of the working class, by the working class, and for the working class. Big ego because I'm a senator. That goes with the job. But this campaign is not about Bernie. It's about you and you. It is about us, not me. And what that means is we are all in this together. There is no family in America, not yours or mine, that doesn't have problems. And we go forward together understanding that my family has got to care about you, your family has got to care about my family. We're all Americans, we're in this together. And what this campaign also understands, and you're not going to see this on television, this is not what the corporate media talks about, and that is, if we are going to bring about the fundamental change that we need in this country, we have got to address the incredible power of the corporate elite. The only way that change ever takes place in this country is from the bottom on up, not the top down. So together, what this campaign is about, it's not just beating Trump, it is taking on the greed and corruption of Wall Street, the insurance industry, the corrupt drug companies, the fossil fuel industry, the military-industrial complex and their endless wars. It is taking on the entire 1%, the corporate establishment, the political establishment, and telling them this country belongs to all of us, not just wealthy campaign contributors. And I'll tell you why we're going to win this thing. We're going to win this election because we have an agenda that speaks to the needs of working people.
Yes, yes, yes.
Think about it for a moment. Over the last 45 years, we have seen an explosion in technology, in worker productivity, and yet today, the average American worker is not making a nickel more in real dollars than he or she did 45 years ago. Trump tells us the economy is booming.
For who?
Well, it is for his wealthy friends. In the last 3 years of the Trump administration, the billionaires of this country have seen an $850 billion increase in their wealth. And in this so-called booming economy, the average American worker last year saw less than a 1% increase in his or her income. A 1% increase in wages is not a booming economy. We are going to win this election because in Colorado and in Vermont and all across America, people want to end starvation wages. The federal minimum wage of $7.25 an hour is a starvation wage. We're going to raise that federal minimum wage to $15 an hour. Women are not going to make 80 cents on the dollar. Equal pay for equal work. Millions of workers want to join unions. We're going to make it easier for workers to join unions. We're going to rebuild our crumbling infrastructure and create millions of good-paying union jobs. And when we talk about the future of America, we make fundamental changes in our priorities. Education goes to the top of the list. Working families of this country deserve quality, affordable child care. We're going to have universal child care in this country. We are going to invest in public education, not charter schools. We are going to triple funding for low-income Title I schools so that all kids get a quality education regardless of the zip code in which they live. And because we believe in education, we believe in educators. That is why we are going to move in the direction of making sure that no teacher in America earns less than $60,000 a year. And because we believe in education, we know that all of our people, regardless of their income, have the right to a higher education. And that is why we're going to make public colleges and universities and trade schools tuition-free. Years ago, against my vote, Congress voted to bail out the crooks on Wall Street. years ago, against my vote, Trump and his friends gave $1 trillion in tax breaks to the 1% and large corporations. Well, if we could bail out the crooks on Wall Street and give tax breaks to billionaires, we can cancel all student debt in America. In other words, when you have a government that is there to represent working families and the middle class and lower income people, we look at our priorities in a very different way. No more tax breaks for billionaires. They're going to start paying their fair share of taxes. And when we talk about changing priorities in America, we are going to end the international embarrassment of the United States being the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all people as a human right. So let me thank the National Nurses United for their support. Let me thank the American College of Physicians for understanding that Medicare for all is the solution. Today in America, we pay twice as much per person for health care as do the people of Canada or any other major country. We spend $11,000 for every man, woman, and child. And yet, despite that huge expenditure, 87 million of us are uninsured or underinsured. And because of the greed and corruption of the pharmaceutical industry, we pay by far the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs. In America today, 30,000 of us die each year because we don't get to a doctor when we should, because we're uninsured. And unbelievably, think about this, 500,000 people go bankrupt every year because of medically related debt.
And they take your property.
An American should not go bankrupt because he or she is dealing with cancer or heart disease or Alzheimer's. And while so many of our people are uninsured or underinsured, the healthcare industry last year made $100 billion in profit. I believe, and you believe, that the function of a rational and humane healthcare system is to guarantee healthcare to all of our people, not to make huge profits for the drug companies and the insurance companies. Just the other day, in a major medical publication, some researchers from Yale University pointed out in a major article that Medicare for All will save us $450 billion a year and save 61,000 lives. For over 100 years, from the time when Teddy Roosevelt was president, to FDR, to Harry Truman, to JFK, to Lyndon Johnson, to Jimmy Carter, to Richard Nixon, to Barack Obama. Presidents have been talking about universal health care. Well, the time for talk is over. Let's pass it. So whether the healthcare industry likes it or not, we will pass a Medicare for all single-payer program. Now, with our running away from the difficult and challenging issues, sadly, we have a president who believes that climate change is a hoax. Well, I believe that Donald Trump is a hoax. And I believe, and our administration will do this, is that we will listen to science, not right-wing extremists. And what the scientists are telling us is that if we do not act boldly in the next several years, there will be irreparable damage done to this country and to the entire planet. Take a look. You don't have to be a scientist. All you need are eyes. Take a look at what is happening in that beautiful country of Australia. It is burning right now. Look at what happened in California, unprecedented levels of fire. Increased drought, increased acidification of the ocean, increased rising sea levels, increased extreme weather disturbances. The United Nations tells us if we don't get our act together, we will be looking at hundreds of millions of climate refugees, people forced to flee their communities because there's no drinking water or land to grow their crops. The issue of climate change is a fundamental moral issue.
Yes.
We must as human beings, as inhabitants of this planet, we have a moral responsibility to make certain that the country and planet we leave our children and future generations is a planet that is healthy and is habitable. So I am proud to tell you that our campaign has introduced the most sweeping climate change proposal ever introduced by any candidate for federal office. Based on the principles of the Green New Deal. We will create up to 20 million good-paying jobs as we move away from fossil fuels to energy efficiency and sustainable energies. And today we say to the fossil fuel industry, your short-term profits are not more important than the future of our planet. And when we talk about an agenda that works for America, that we're proud of, we are going to bring fundamental reform to a broken and racist criminal justice system. We are tired of having more people in jail than the people of any other country, including China. We are going to invest in our young people in jobs and education, not more jails and incarceration. We are going to end private prisons and detention centers. We are going to end cash bail. We are going to end the so-called war on drugs. And on day one, through executive order, we're going to legalize marijuana in every state. And we are going to move to expunge the records of those arrested.
Yeah!
When we talk about racist and broken systems, we're going to bring fundamental reform to our immigration system. We're going to end the demonization of the undocumented people. On day one, it's going to be a very busy day. We're going to sign an executive order that restores the legal status of the 1.8 million young people and their parents eligible for DACA. Under our administration at the border, no babies will ever be snatched by federal agents from their mothers. Together, we will, in a bipartisan way, pass comprehensive immigration reform and a path towards citizenship for the undocumented. All of us, regardless of our political views, are horrified and disgusted by the kind of gun violence we have seen, and I know Colorado has had its share. So here is my promise to you. Our gun policy will be determined by the American people, not the NRA. And what we are talking about, among many other things, is universal background checks, ending the gun show loophole and the straw man provision, and doing what the American people want, which is ending the sale and distribution of assault weapons in this country. Now, as a United States Senator, I hear a lot of speeches on the floor of the Senate from conservative Republican senators. And their mantra, as you may know, what their mantra is they say they believe in small government and getting the government off the backs of the American people. That's what they say. Well, what I say to those hypocrites is that if you believe in getting the government off the backs of the American people, understand that it's women who have the right to control their own bodies, not the government. My promise to you is I will never nominate anybody to the Supreme Court or the federal bench who is not 100% pro Roe v. Wade. We will put Roe v. Wade into law. And we will significantly expand funding for Planned Parenthood. So, brothers and sisters, here we are in the midst of the most consequential election in the modern history of America, maybe even the history of America. And I am here this evening to ask for your support to help us win the primary here in Colorado. Because of great grassroots support, we won the popular vote in Iowa. We won the New Hampshire primary. We're looking good in Nevada and South Carolina. And with your help, we're going to win Colorado on Super Tuesday. Now, Trump thinks he's going to win re-election by dividing the American people up. But we are going to beat him because we're bringing the American people together, black and white and Latino, Native American, Asian. Now I can tell you, you may have noticed if you watch TV or read the papers, that the Republican establishment is getting a little bit nervous. Wall Street and the corporate elite are getting a little bit nervous. The Democratic establishment is getting a little bit nervous. And all of these folks are trembling. My God, workers are standing up for decent wages. Young people are demanding a decent education. The American people want health care as a human right. The American people want us to lead the world in fighting climate change. So, brothers and sisters, with your help, we are going to win here in Colorado. We're going to win the Democratic nomination. And we are going to defeat the most dangerous president in modern history. So let's get out and vote on Super Tuesday. Let's go forward together. Thank you.
the rail. They might be coming around. Thank you. How's it going, man?
Doing well. How you been?
Huh?
Doing well. How you been?